research shows that when you are yourself, you're more attractive. Authenticity is a predictor of attraction in business, in relationships, romantic, social. Because when you're yourself, you are unique. There's no one else like you. Just like the snowflakes, you know, us humans, we're not alike. And if you try to be someone else, it's not, careful, it's not exciting. When you're yourself, that's the most exciting and most interesting and intriguing to people. So when I go and pitch to MTV or when I go and meet anyone, you know, maybe I try and be someone else for like a few seconds and like, you know, try and be all business-like and whatnot. But the truth is, and that's what I learned most from research, and that's what I really try and practice now, is I'm just myself, and I could be too quiet, and I could be too shy or too smart, or there's so many things that that could go wrong, but like, you know, this is me, and this is it's really about like building that trust in the fact that being who you are is the most interesting and intriguing thing for people. So Malcolm, when you pitch the show in over our heads, you gotta be the crazy Malcolm that you are. You might try and tame yourself. You know, the private situation is gonna make you maybe be more presentable. But you're selling yourself. Like, you're selling the show, and the show's you, and you're awesome, and it's so important. This is what I'm trying to educate in my shows, to be yourself, and that is so amazing. When I'm gonna push MTV, I'm gonna just be myself. I'm a loving, maybe too loving person that I am, too sweet maybe. I could be too Jewish, too smart, too shy, too quiet. I don't have a very loud voice.
So what's the secret to liking yourself?
Secrets of liking yourself? For me, it was a lot of thinking, a lot of studying about it, and I mean, I'm a very intellectual person. I've got to study and study and study and think too much even. But on the same token, I thought about it so much that I realized that that's the best way to go about it. And then I thought about it enough to say, okay, what makes most sense is to act on it. And I learned about how action increases your self-esteem, even if you fail. So I just started acting.
We're out of light. Let's say it again. Can you say that thing about action leading to self-esteem? Let's start right here. Okay. That'll be cute in front of the Curious George. You say that action about action leading to self-esteem. Okay. Action.
So you just try. You do small steps. You do a small step of being who you are, and then like another small step of being who you are, and slowly those small actions actually shape slowly who you are, and you're less shy about yourself. And so I just practice step by step and try to see, like, if I could pull off, being unique or being things that I wanted to be and I didn't really think they're appropriate.
So I felt bad just because you were advising how to fix that and stuff.
There's no end to it, really. You just keep on trying and keep on having these small steps and having these small actions of trying this and trying that, and it's really it's a journey to love who you are. Life is you want to stop here? I guess we can go from there. So as I said, life.
Stop there. Wait, stop. I want to get the. Okay.
Life is a journey. Life is a crazy journey, crazy wild journey. But life is a journey to love yourself, loving yourself. And you just take all these steps. You do like a small step and you learn about yourself. You do a small step and act about it, or you think about it and then you act about it, and it's the whole like action reflection. You act and you think, and then you rest.
going out? Hold the camera.
I'm wearing white.
Huh?
But I think. Oh. Yeah, that was impressive. I think just because the camera, I'm going to stand on this side so we can see the ocean in the background as we're talking. Because I want to hear a little bit more about you and your life.
Yeah. Okay. I like to have fun with people. I like to laugh a lot. And I like to focus on being happy. And I find if I can work doing that, because a lot of our life is around work, isn't it? We're making a living. If I combine that and actually try to make a living, well, it doesn't always work. Make a living part, but at least
it doesn't work for most of us all the time.
It doesn't always work, but that's the idea, and that's where I am. That's what I'm doing. So I think I've taken something that feels for me very natural and made that into a career choice. So, you know, I don't understand this. People talk about the life-work balance.
Yeah.
I think as a sort of life-work balance just as a division, then you have to find a balance between the two. I think it's all about life balance, just being balanced and keeping everything positive when there is quite clearly so many negatives, and keeping focused in the other way. And I suppose when I was a kid, you see, I remember a really strong experience, and I suppose that's also very connected to English culture. My parents used to invite their friends around, and we never used to see them, myself and my sister. Maximum we were introduced, say hello. We had to present ourselves and say hello to the guests, but then we were completely excluded from any other contact. Yeah. There was never any contact with the adult world in a sense. You know, this was the adults as well. You know, it was an adults evening, and kids aren't part of that.
Until what age?
Till a late age. I would say, you know, beginning of teenage years, maybe 11, 12, something like that. Yeah, and so myself and my sister used to cook, like it was a 2-story house, and we used to go quietly down the stairs just not to make too much creaking sounds, so they'd hear us creeping down the stairs, and then we'd sit and listen. I don't know what my sister got from this experience, but we used to sit and listen to the adults talking, and then I got a different sense of myself, you know, and I used to hit how my parents related to me as me, and how they talked about me to their adult friends, and then it seemed, I wonder what the game was, you know, and I thought, do adults create a sort of whole different communication to kids? And it was almost like is it a whole pretend thing that they make us out to be the way they want us to be, rather than the way we are. And therefore I got a sense that the adult world is a bit deceptive. And how do I learn to play those games, you know? That already from that young age I had that experience, how do I play those games? And so I think I had this innate...
So you were 12 when you started?
Yeah, I was 12 when yeah.
12 when you started talking to them, but you started internalizing these messages and like understanding these like when you were pretty young.
Yeah.
Like, how old? Say.
That I started...
Like understanding that all those adult games are games.
Well, I always understood those adult games were games, but I mean, I didn't understand
like, when did you realize that it's a game that everyone plays, and like, I mean that it's, you know, it's just like using a different kind of language.
Yeah, I think I realized that in my teenage years.
Because I only realized that recently.
I think I realized it in my teenage years, but I was drawn to theatre, and it was probably the best thing I could do, because I could constantly recreate myself and play these games on the stage, you know. And that was weird, because then I sort of experimented there with different roles, you know, and different role playing. But then I allowed myself to do that. That was staged, but in real life I couldn't play different roles. I could just be me. And how was I going to cope with moving into being an adult?
Great story.
And I mean, it's very interesting because I mean, the guys I've been away with now to Berlin, we're people that we've known each other since we're 16, 17, you know, and we're still saying, have we grown up? I mean, we're now 50, and what does that mean? Have we grown up, and what is, and have we matured? You know, and that suddenly became a really important question. Have we matured? Whatever that means, and that suddenly becomes a whole thing. What does that sure. Not quite clear we understood it, or still understand
We
it.
spoke about it now?
Yeah.
In Berlin?
Yeah. This is the major theme of the...
Oh, the 50.
the major theme of the 5 days.
5 days for 50.
5 days.
Did you took your whole family, or was it just
No, just us 4 guys.
Wow.
Four guys.
Wow.
Just laughing and laughing.
What's talking?
I'm feeling so comfortable to be together. People have had a history, basically, and I think people who have struggled all the time and are still struggling with these questions. I'm saying these questions: what is it to grow up? Have we grown up? Have we grasped life? What else is there to grasp? Are we missing something here?
And
I don't think we resolved anything. I think that was good as well. I think that's probably it. I don't think we resolved things.
it's so beautiful. It's so incredibly beautiful.
But I just think we realised we were in a good place that we were laughing so much about it all, you know?
So they're all like laughing friends?
Well, they're friends that laugh. I don't know whether they're laughing friends. They're all, you know, they got...
Yeah, that's what I mean, like friends that laugh.
Yeah, friends that laugh. No,
But not everyone laughed. Like until recently, I didn't let myself laugh. I thought it was like rude and like...
Yeah, no, I suppose that's a thing that really is connects us. And people who are, and guys who are talking about themselves, which is also, you know, quite interesting for guys. We just laugh because there's 4 of us, and there's two of them. That was like 2 of them wanted to go and see the football in the, you know, the German final, and then the 2 of us, the other 2, we're really not into football. And there was this opportunity of seeing an opera, so we went to see this opera in a cathedral, amazing opera in a cathedral. And as we were coming out of this thing, we said, you know, it's unbelievable, you know, we've got 2 good friends who are really into football, and we just can't understand how they could miss this amazing performance. This is like modern dance. And we just looked at each other and said, are we that gay, you know, for two heterosexual men? And it's crazy, you know, the idea that
We enjoyed the opera.
that we enjoy this thing. So we said, yeah, but so this friend of mine said, but I can't be gay because of my sexuality. I said, no, that's right, I can't either. But it's just how we find those definitions, you know, that people got for. So yeah, I mean, it's an honesty between us all, and I think each one of us is very emotionally honest. And so this question of have we grown up? Have we reached a point? I'm still not sure, and I think maybe it's an integration. Huh?
This is so beautiful.
Maybe this so this is sort of to know that the child is still very, very present.
And you could call it Buddhism, or you could call it just being people and being emotionally open.
Just being, you know what I think it is, and I think this is the key. Being authentic. I think that's it. I think it's being authentic. You know? And really not having to play, so, you know, not having to play anything. And just being able to feel free to express all that stuff. And what I find in my work is always creating circles of people, and that's what we're essentially doing. I'm allowing it to happen. If I'm doing it, I'm allowing other people to do it. And it doesn't really matter what I'm teaching. I mean, sometimes I said I maybe have got some of the facts confused. I said, but if you've got a good feeling from the end of what I'm saying, that's good for me. That's good for me, good for you. So,
What do you teach?
So I think it's exchanging energy. I teach medical clowning, and I teach happiness stuff. It goes together really nicely.
What is happiness stuff?
How to think about being happy. You know, this positive psychology stuff, principles of positive psychology, although I wrap it into what I'm doing. The inner clown, I'm very clear about the inner clown work that I do.
The inner clown?
Yeah, the inner clown work.
Tell me about it.
Which is about connecting to yourself as contradictions. And I suppose one of the things that looking at the adult world seems to be so clear, right, about where it is, and it's so paradoxical on so many levels, but everyone thinking they're being so clear. And being a clown is allowing the stuff that you keep hidden from people, you know, the child, the fears, the the making a fool of yourself, you know, and worrying about making a fool of yourself. Saying silly things, doing silly things. It allows you to do all that, you know, without having to worry, without having to fear that you're making a fool of yourself, you know, or you're being immature. So you can do a lot of things as a clown, and you can express a lot of the sides of you that we, and this is part of the why it fits in. A lot of sides of us which, when we become adults, mature, we hide, we put aside, you know, and so we can't express that side. Because it's not being responsible, and it's not being serious, and it's not taking into account everybody's feelings and all this stuff which is about adult. Sometimes we, you know, just want to be spontaneous, want to say things that we want to say, and want to do things. And we introduce in the clown is an adult role that allows us to connect to the child and connect to those sides of us. So
the clown is an adult role?
The clown is an adult role, yeah. The clown is an adult role with strong elements of the child. So it's and the clown is also a contradictory role. So, you know, someone once came to me and they were like, and they're looking at their fingers, and I said, why do you want to learn to be a clown? She said to me, she said, I'd like to have confidence. That's what she said, I'd like to learn to have confidence. I said, you won't by the end of the course. So she said, she looked at me, yeah, but I said, you'll have plenty of confidence with your lack of confidence. Plenty of confidence with your lack of confidence.
Yeah, just communicating.
So it's being totally what we are, you know, totally what we are. And some of the time we're not always what we appear, right? There's stuff that we're keeping hidden, and here it's bringing all that stuff outside. So the inner is out.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's liberating. It's totally liberating. So if I got some people who really got an issue around control, I get them out of control. But then being out of control is not being a clown. That's just being out of control. Being a clown is being in control, out of control. So it's
Can
always.
you give me an example?
It's always contradictory. Yeah. So I mean, I work a lot with, you know, recovering drug addicts. So that's really important. And the idea that if they are in control, they're very rigid, right? Their thinking is very rigid. They're very conservative. They can't really move very far in their behaviors. You know, their behaviors have got to be very serious and very controlled, and they mustn't go to this side or that side. They have to go in this direction, no, because the fear is if they look in any other direction but straight forward, they're going to go off the wall, if you like. They're going to start taking the jogs again. They'll start losing their focus. So they're really rigid in maintaining this focus, because if they're not, you know, they're just everywhere. So I get them to be in focus everywhere, you know, so they're moving here and they're moving there, but they're still in focus, right? Because so they're, and this and they're laughing and they're enjoying that, you know, and that's the clown. That's them in clown role, you know, that they they've allowed themselves to be in two places, seemingly contradictory, but at the same time.
Let's try to climb on this thing. Go all the way down. What do you think?
To what?
Oh, just go in on this little island.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So this is the planning, and it's a whole thing that I recognise, because it's so important for people. It's not an art, you know. It's not art. It's not stage. It's not theatre. It's all about life. It's a key life role, you know, to be a clown. It's a whole way of life, a whole way of thinking. So if people can have that role, and this is bringing people to that point, and it's finding their dominant roles and putting the inner role with the outer role, and that's their clown. It allows people to reintroduce themselves back to their silliness and their spontaneity. And
I wish you could teach me a little bit.
this is stuff I teach, yeah.
Can you teach me, like, like right now?
Right. Yes. Okay, I'll tell you how we start. If we can start right now, it's the thing, what is a part of you that always holds you back from just shouting and screaming and doing crazy things? What part of that is holding you?
I guess the part, I noticed that, like in acting, for example, I always try to take like the good person role.
Right.
Like the way that I want people to see me as good. I'm afraid to be like the bad guy. I'm afraid to look ugly. Afraid to make like ugly faces at the camera.
You see where that's going? You see where that's going? Now the thing is, you couldn't do that too much, you know, because that's really out of character, right? So it wouldn't be just doing that. It'd be having a nice mix. And the point where you could make those funny faces and like pull your trousers up and look really ridiculous, you know? Like maybe smear your lipstick in different places, might not be, right? And at that point, that would be a little bit frightening, okay? What you try and do is you try and maintain a certain seriousness, you're holding yourself, trying to be elegant, at the same time as having your lipstick here and your trousers up here.
Right. So you got that elegancy that keeps the control of the adult.
Right.
But then
with aspects of yourself, you know, maybe even your walk, you'd even like make your walk a little bit more vulgar, you know?
And like stick my tummy out.
Some part of, you know what, you stick out, what part of your body don't you like? What part of your body are you trying to hide the whole time? Is there something that you like?
Thighs.
Right, so that will become your major part that you walk with. You know, you walk with your thighs.
That sounds...
and you'd enjoy, you know, finally being able to walk with those thighs out, you know? Without having to feel that you're hiding them.
Oh my God.
And at that point...
Thinking about it is so inspiring.
You put on a red nose, and that is it. That allows me to be in those two places at the same time.
So, alright.
I've got nothing to hide anymore. Now I've got nothing
I don't have lipstick now, but I'm taking homework. I'm taking notes.
Right.
So, sticking my thighs out.
Stick your thighs out and sort of leading with your thighs. Yes, you don't like that very much?
No, but like, you know, it always needs to be like nice and toned and you know that.
Right, holding it in, sort of holding it.
Yeah. But, like,
so I think you let that out. So I think your whole movement would be this direction. You know, this direction.
Yeah.
Okay, this direction.
On my arms.
Your arms, okay,
yeah,
your arms.
So like stick my arms out.
Yeah, so you know, so this will be a sort of, yeah, exactly. You know, and then sort of you'll be walking sort of like, sort of really like this, you know, showing off.
Oh my gosh.
But you'll be trying to be, you know, trying to be a little bit elegant at the same time.
No,
you know?
I definitely, smearing my lipstick is awesome.
Yeah.
That's definitely embarrassing.
And then at that point, you say, at that point you...
And maybe put like some on my teeth.
Yeah.
Gross. Oh my gosh. But it's so like, rejuvenating. Just think about it.
Right. And even the way you dress, I've also twice suggested you dress very elegantly.
Right.
Very matching and very, yeah. You do something with your dress that would be like, you know, just doche, you know, like really. So,
give me examples.
You know, like you have looser trousers sort of with the little holes in them and you just pull them up here.
Well, because I'm embarrassed with my thighs, I should wear something tight and like white, so that makes them look even fatter.
Yeah, good. You know, I'd even pad them a bit so you make, you know, even exaggerate.
And put like a big t-shirt, because like, you know, I usually emphasize my upper part, which is thinner.
Right.
So I'll make a big t-shirt.
Yeah.
Let's walk all the way there and back.
That's what you do. And then you put on your red nose. You see, because that's saying, okay, now I'm in clown. And if there's any point I want to return to any part of myself, you know, I want to return to this elegance that I, you know, whatever, how you represent it. I then could take off the red nose and I could go back to that place. Now, how many people would want to go back to the place once you reach that point?
Wow. So what do you do?
So you see, I'm actually also, I mean, I was an introvert. I was this intense introverted.
Yeah, I know what my mom's talking about. Like, people are like, yeah, you were so outgoing when you were young. I'm like, bullshit. Bullshit. I was an introvert. I was left on the side on games. I remember that. I was the only dark kid. And like for years I hated being in the sun because I didn't want to be darker because all my cousins were white. I remember my life being miserable. I mean, I remember some happy moments, but I remember how my sister was accepted because she was white.
Right.
Me and my brother were dark and we were always like last to be chosen on games. I know what they're talking about. I was an introvert.
Right.
Maybe when I was a baby I was like, you know, not thinking and happy and dancing.
No, you weren't a bubbling, sort of gurgling.
Yeah, probably a baby before I like, you know, acknowledged myself. But anyway, it's so funny what we remember. I'm like building a whole new self of like, you know, there's like research on like, you know, when they tell you something, you start remembering it.
Right.
So like slowly, like I'm like, oh, I was really an outgoing child. Yeah. But I'm going to believe that at a certain point.
But that's interesting. Maybe, you know, it's also so, I mean, how your mother saw it. Maybe you see, for example, your brother and sisters are even more introverted. Therefore, for your mother, you were the more out there, you know?
No, my brother was really funny. No, my brother and I were very introverted, and then like, you know, I slowly after like so much deep thinking, I decided that like it's really important to be extroverted, and like I just kept on pushing myself until I became who I am now. Seriously.
Yeah.
It was a very intellectual thing.
I did the same.
And my sister was actually an extrovert. I remember her running around and always like doing something terrible. I mean, you know, like a little rascal, but knowing she could get away with it.
Right, right.
Like little blondie.
Yeah, that's really weird. She was blonde and like white as well. Wow.
Yeah.
And same family.
And now she keeps on giving me all these stories like, yeah, I remember how you were always like so strong and I was so always weak next to you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's so nice to vent this now, right? Anyway, back to clowning.
Yeah, no, I realized that about 15 I wasn't really making friends. I really wasn't connecting to people, and I thought, I've got to get out. I've got to do something about this. And then I became really extreme. I mean, you know, I went and I invited the whole of my school class, who always saw me as this. You know, I don't think they saw me really. I felt that
you saw yourself in their eyes.
Yeah, and I just invited them all for an event, and this is one of my coming out events. I decided to sing opera in the library opposite, and I was the last person to go and disturb a library, you know. And so I invited all these people for lunchtime. It was around the same time. Suddenly this library was full of all these guys that would never seen a library in their life.
Guys school?
Yeah, we're all guys.
Why?
Why? It was because it was a good school. It was a grammar school. It was a good standard school, and it just happened to be all guys. And I wondered, Jesus, you know, I think I was really lucky. If I'd been 15 and been the sense of being alienated in a sense from guys, I mean, for women would have been a real trauma for me, you know?
No.
I mean...
So you invited all your guy friends?
So I invited all these guys.
That's a good point.
And we were all sitting there. Yeah, what had I done with sexual energy and tension when it was enough that guys would talk about it and I wouldn't even know where to start, you know? I had nowhere to start. So if the girls actually involved, you know, rather than just being talked about, that would have been, I think, that would have finished me off. So I was in this library and all these guys coming and sitting down, and then just suddenly at 1 o'clock, that was it, I just broke into opera.
Started singing opera.
But it wasn't really opera, it was...
Just make up funny.
No, it was this, you know, this Cornetto advert. You ever see this ice cream advert? So, just one Cornetto. It's an ice cream advert. Give it to me. Delicious ice cream from Italy. Imagine in the library, I went for it, la la, and it was just like, you know. And the headmaster said if he ever caught the guy who sang opera in the library across the road, he'd kick him out of school. There was no way he could have imagined it was Vegas, and no one ratted.
Oh my god.
That was pretty amazing. Yeah, that was a good. That was it. That was it. You know, I moved. I moved from this intense, gawky kid to this.
Ow. I think I got a blister on my left foot. It's kind of hard for me to walk.
Where? There?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
a blister?
Bellet. What do they call it? It's not a blister, it's like a sort of... Hard, anyway, yeah. And that was it, and then there was no looking back. That was it, then I did crazy things. And I was just, you know, everybody could tell me to do anything and I just do it for the fun of it. You know, just people would.
Oh gosh, give me a bunch of stories.
And then my father said, don't you think you've gone too extreme now in your personality? My father said,
oh my god, I also did a huge change when I was like 15. I was like really shy, and like I just decided I switched schools. Right. And I went for summer camp, and I saw a picture of like a contest of Miss Israel. There's this girl who was curly. She had light skin, which was my ideal, but whatever. Curly black hair. Her name was Kineret something. Right. And she was one of the contests, like, you know, participant, whatever. And I was like, she looks like a real sweetheart. I'm like, this is the personality that I'm deciding to create. And I just had like the vision in my head. And I just made up a whole personality. And I'm like, she's extroverted, she talks about everything. She's super sweet to everybody, no matter what. She's always loving. And you know, part of being totally open was telling everyone about it. I went to a camp where like no one really knew me. Like I had like some friends that, like, you know, from the snobby girls that I never spoke with. Right. suddenly it was crazy, Jeff. Like I had a boyfriend. I was like, oh my God, what's that?
Right,
I didn't
right,
speak
well.
with boys before that. And it was like age of 15, extreme like change. Like I'm changing who I am, and boom.
Fantastic.
And I let my hair down.
Fantastic.
It was wild. I want to hear a bunch of like funny stories. I also want to start walking back because I'm thirsty.
From thirsty?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to have a drink.
Yeah.
Good to have a drink. Laura, you see.
You jump.
Actually, it's really funny because I think about it now. I work sometimes with youth, and I work with youth, you know, and I'm really attracted to the youth that I'm like they're full of what I wasn't, you know, this, and I sort of really relate to them, and they relate to me, and I think, you know, it's like doing a fixing of that part, it's sort of going back.
Yeah.
And I can be now accepted teen, even though it's adult teaching.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
You know,
I'm like suddenly I'm like the popular girl.
Yeah.
To an extent, but like I'm like mostly like I feel like I'm there to like help them do that change without, you know, without all the cars that it took me. Like I want to make it easier for them.
Right.
It took a lot of balls.
So this, I'll show you. You said what of my clan is this? So my clan has still this little bit of extra, this introversion obviously is still, because it comes, and then you can integrate it, you know, because once you've been extrovert, then you can bring, so there's an extrovert introvert. So my clan has a sort of combination where they put their nose, and you'll see what I mean. Just. That's why, and you see, so it's still got this, you know, and but breathing, you know.
Yeah, you can totally be yourself.
You know,
like yeah,
sort of. Whereas I wouldn't breathe before as an introvert, you're just like holding it in all the time now, and now it's just like, and it's reaching out, you know. I can be there. Whereas before I would have just, you know, like been like this. So I can sort of within that place, I can reach out, which is fantastic. So you know, I don't have to be out there. I can just then, therefore, that's a fantastic place to be, and that's, you know, that's centered. That's for me is feeling the centered.
Wow.
I think it's great. And it's really funny because this friend, for example, hasn't seen me for like, well, we see each other occasionally, but like after so many years. I mean, I put on the red nose and did something for him. It's amazing together. There's integration of all these aspects you know them.
Is what?
Aspects that you know, these sort of things. And so we're contradictory, aren't we? So we're really contradictory in the idea that we are extrovert or introvert, more than likely most people are both, you know? And the ability to be able to be flexible, to be in a range of, allows us not to get stuck in one mindset, one emotional state, and play around with it, you know? And that means you can relate to everybody. Everybody. That's good. So I can relate to everybody, as opposed to 3 people in my lab.
3 people? How many people came to the library?
But I've got this friend, well, I just invited to the class, and a few other classes, and one of the guys I went away with, I knew him in my later years at school, it was only my later years, and he would talk about all these people that he knew. So he knew this one, I had no recollection, I remember the name, and that's it. So I literally
Yeah, me too. Actually, all those people from my past life, I'm like kind of not so in touch with. And you know, it's, you know, part of like, you know, the hardship of coming home. It's like home is where you were when you were like that.
Right.
You know?
Right. Absolutely. I can.
Yeah, it's probably like my hardship of coming to Israel. I'm like, wait a second, let me finish my changing before I come back. Like,
set yourself right. So
yeah, because here everyone knows me like it's this religious figure. No, I'm a bikini dancer now.
But you like, so you move into these different sort of aspects of your personality.
Well, I'm a television producer, but like it's like I have like all these other personalities that I embrace, and like, you know, I'm not like, I kind of want to be more defined.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
Yeah. I need more time to internalize and like accept. Like when I come back, I'm like, ooh, I'm the same person. But then there are all these people that remind me that I'm not, because they watch all my YouTubes and follow me on Facebook and all that, and they're like, wow, we saw your show, and I'm like, oh right, I am that new person.
Right.
Can you see the Harvard Health thing on the top? Oh, here. You have me. That's a dining hall.
Oh, that's really pretty. Wait, can you just point what it is and say what it is?
So, this is where the undergrads have their food. It's a dining hall, and it's an ancient church, but it's, my home is right behind it, so it's really great to wake up to this building.
Do you like living in Cambridge?
I love living in Cambridge. Cambridge is so open, there's so many students here, and I could just be who I am. I could wear what I want, and that is so important to me. It's so fucking important to me, because I just love the fact that no one knows me here, and it's Harvard, so everyone's a thinker, and like, you know, whatever you do is like kind of, you know, it's you, and it's okay, and it's like the mentality of like, you know, Americans. I love it, like the mind your own business. I don't know, it's very open, it's very diverse, and there are lots of young people. If you've noticed in Harvard Square, all these people with like different hair colors. Sometimes I walk up to them and tell them that I really appreciate their art.
Really surprised by it. My style so fresh, my flow so clean, I stay so gonna be a ride for the team. If it ain't about change, I don't know what you mean. My style so fresh, my flow so clean, I stay so gonna be a ride for the team. People around right now.
What about me? Do you want to interview me?
I don't know your questions.
Oh, you could just make up questions.
Why are you my mom?
Why? I'm your mom?
From the song, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Why am I your mom? Should I try and like be philosophical?
Why would I don't.
You can ask me why I dress all this.
That's why are you wearing the clothes that you're wearing? That's silly.
Can I ask you that?
Wait, why am I wearing the clothes that I'm wearing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is my friend's.
And he was supposed to give it back to him.
Well, yeah, no, now I have to give it back to him. God damn it.
Okay.
No,
so this is your friend's?
Alright, this is my friend Scrappy's.
Why do you wear that skeleton on yours?
Yeah, it's a free shirt. It's from a comic book.
You like skeletons?
It's not a skeleton. It's Mr. Spooky.
Oh. You like spooky things?
No. My ex-girlfriend bought me this shirt a long time ago because it was from a comic book that I happened to like. And
it's really cute now that I think about it.
And I can't dress myself for shit. So I usually wear clothes that other people either give to me or, you know.
That's awesome. Yeah. And why all the piercing?
I don't know. My body's my temple, dude. Might as well make it festive.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Your friends rock. That's so cool. And how about you? What do you wear? What you wear?
What's up? Oh, I dress functional. I got a leather jacket because it cuts the wind. I got a hoodie because I'm cold. Really, all I do.
Awesome.
Just like that.
Ask me again when it's warmer out. Yeah.
Okay. And how about you? Why do you wear what you wear?
Because I like the colors black and yellow. Yellow kind of I'm warm, passionate, peaceful, calm, but it's also a warning. Don't fuck with me.
Really?
Yes.
Like the bee? Like the bee? Like don't fuck with me?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like protective of my friends. Like, I actually went to jail for him once.
Oh, really?
Whatever, man. I showed up in court.
I went to jail for him once. I know, you were there. You were like the only one. Dude, the guy from the bridge van could have totally like saved my ass on that, but he refused to get involved.
Yeah.
We're here to help people, but I can't help you by going to court and telling the truth that you did not pull a weapon on anyone. They pulled it on you.
By the way, you're cool with this going on TV, yeah? You're cool with this going on television?
Yeah.
Some charges were dropped. So.
Yeah, they were, dude.
Yeah.
But no, I just don't like people messing with my friends. I got sick of it. We were all playing the bigger person, walked away, and even came back. The guy just wouldn't leave it alone. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that, and thank you.
No problem, dude.
That's so
it was a fun night.
Yeah.
I'm looking for stories. Do you have any cool stories to tell me? Did you also travel through?
I haven't traveled much through America.
Where did you travel?
I grew up in Europe because my stepfather was in the Navy.
Really?
So I was a Navy brat. So I lived in Germany, Denmark, and Scotland.
How did that shape who you are?
Good ways, maybe. Hopefully. I don't know what shape I am, but...
Do you think like you're more like social and because you've been to many places?
Unfortunately, I think I'm more accepting of like things that a lot of people don't like.
You're more comfortable with change. Because life keeps on changing?
Yeah. And then when I got back to the States, I was crazy. So I went to a bunch of group homes, so I'm used to being around a lot of people.
I saw him in his kitchen.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like people. There's a lot of things I don't agree with. But that doesn't mean it's not okay. Like everything's just my opinion, you know. Like right and wrong is bullshit. Like the right wants just as much power as the wrong, you know, good and evil. Fuck, good and evil don't exist. Fuck that.
Yeah, matter of perspective.
Yeah. It's like the ultimate good wants power just as much as the ultimate evil. So you just gotta like fucking chill, man. Like shit happens.
So, do you believe things, I guess it's pretty clear, but like, do you think things are inherently good or bad?
I think that good and bad don't really exist. It's all perspective.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
On how good and bad don't exist?
Yeah.
Wait, can you elaborate on my opinion, please?
No, he said that too.
I'd like
both of you actually to elaborate.
Well, what I think is like, you see there's a lot of people dying and everything like that. I mean, that happens every day. It's a part of life, but we're overpopulated. There's little systems that you might not pick up on like a day-to-day basis. So there's too much traffic. An ambulance can't get through the traffic and somebody dies. That's a small form of population control. Wars, people fighting over land and resources because there's not enough food to go around. That's a system of balance between supply and demand, the food and the people that are willing to fight for it.
That's awesome.
But that's why, well, I guess to get back to his point, that's why things aren't good or evil. It all depends on which side of the power struggle you're on. Like if you're winning, then the people who are fighting to get your food are good. I guess if you're losing, the people who are fighting to get your food are good, but you don't like them as much.
Interesting.
Fair weather fans.
That's awesome. Hey you guys, do you want to be on TV? Do you mind? I'm making a television show about happiness and like people sharing advice with each other pretty much. No. No. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's village.
See it?
You guys cold?
What?
I was thinking of going into the garage and like interviewing people because it's not that cold there. It's kind of cold to like stand and not move. Yeah, that's so sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See, the cool thing about friends, if they're really your friend, they'll tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because I definitely do dumb shit, and people have been like, "No, dude, that's fucked up. Don't do that."
Growing up in California, I never had any true friends because everyone's just like, "Yeah, you're cool. It's all good." So if I like jump off this bridge, just go, "Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, jump off the bridge." They're fake.
That's how you felt in California?
Yeah.
The most not the most recent, but the most hysterical example is like that. There was some random squatter chick who like looked like a fat version of Brittany Murphy, but was really annoying. And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And like everyone's just like, "No, no, dude, don't even talk to her." I'm like, "No, but come on." They're just like, "No, no." But I'm, in like the simplest, most hysterical manner. It's like, I have an idea. It's probably a bad fucking idea, or I'm doing something, and unintentionally I'll fucking hurt other people in the process, and my friends will be like, "Fuck you! No, don't do that." And that's what friends are for.
Yeah, don't smash bottles in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, Border, stop breaking stuff. But I'm like, it's so fun. I'm just like, no. And I'm just like, I'm gonna eat all these drugs, and I'm gonna give all these drugs to other people too. And they're just like, no, don't do that. And yeah.
So your friends are the ones who helped you?
Yeah, your friends are the ones who tell you that you're wrong. Like, that's
a real friend.
Yeah, exactly.
What did you just say?
He said he's so wrong.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like,
What do you mean wrong?
Joking with him.
Well, yeah,
Your friends will tell you you're wrong.
Yeah,
So
I do a lot of dumb shit, and I try to include a lot of people with it. And if it wasn't for my friends, then I probably wouldn't be as accepted as I am.
What? So you're just kind of like joking
puppy
around?
rolls, Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, in retrospect, that makes perfect fucking sense. Like,
so what is like? Actually, would you mind holding the camera? Sure. That'd be cool.
Sunshine.
Would you guys mind being on camera? I'm making a television show about happiness.
No, interview Sunshine. What? He's the happiest man in the world. He's Sunshine. So fucking happy.
Yeah?
So happy it hurts.
Yeah.
That good?
So your name is Sunshine? And just
You're on TV, Doug.
television show about happiness, sharing like kind of like words of wisdom. We're just talking a bit about
Well, I mean, technically happiness is just a chemical reaction in your brain like any other emotion, but I don't know.
Your One mom's a chemical reaction in the kitchen.
This is a beautiful necklace.
I just fucking Oh yeah, I got it at a, I don't know, I was at a gathering. But
I've got money for
What kind of gathering?
That's how.
I was very good at
Hey man,
yeah?
it's my little world.
Nice, dude.
So I want to talk about self-esteem. So you guys like seem like you carry yourself.
We're gonna get something different
What you mind.
than old times. That fucking dude.
Can you give people a tip?
I was like standing over there and like,
Damn, dude. I mean, I've had to deal with that shit for a while. I mean, like,
almost wanted to be like,
Are you like now the same way that you were 10 years ago?
well, I mean, I fucking spent years puking my food up until I realized that, you know,
Like, that's my OT.
I'm never gonna be content with whatever the fuck this existence is if I'm not comfortable in my own skin, you know?
So what was the first thing you did to change?
A conscious effort. I mean, your brain controls everything. You can rewire intentionally if you just like consciously make an effort to like tell yourself that you can do whatever the fuck you want. Yes.
And this is risk-taking. Risk-taking is being afraid, but still trying. We don't really know we're afraid, but we try. And the way to try it is really in baby steps. We try small steps, because when you take a small step, if you fall, then it's not such a big fall. And if you succeed, you take another step. The thing about trying is that it registers in your mind, in our psyche, as an action. The way our brain is built is, the cells that the brain is built out of, I don't know if you know, it's brain out of neuron cells. Neuron cells is not like just like a little dot cell. It's a very long cell that when it works, when the brain cells work, the way they work is by shooting information from one side of the cell to the other side. But when that cell works more and more, that connection between the cell, between the long part, the axon, which is the long part of the neuron, the cell, becomes thicker. Basically, when you think a thought or when you try something, when a brain acts in one way, over and over, that pathway, that neuron, that cell becomes thicker and thicker. And then you're more likely to act that way. When you take a risk, you act. That action registers in the head as an action. When you try over and over, that's why the correct way is by small steps. Because you try and try and try, these are small steps, but it registers in your brain as action. And when you have action, 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 your brain is educated to action, and eventually one of those actions is going to work. That's the secret about risk-taking. You take a risk, but you take a small risk, right? You take like all these like tiny steps, and eventually you get there. We all know that if we don't try, we won't get anything, right? And that's risk-taking is you try, you try, you try, you try. That cell shoots, becomes thicker and thicker. Your psychological immune system becomes stronger and stronger because you try. It registers in your head as trying, and that's it. That's kind of the modern way to go about risk taking.
And what makes you build up this decision?
I've been a clown for years. You know, I've been a clown. We see once I realised that in order to become an adult, it was a painful transition. I thought I could be an adult and remain being a child, so I thought clowning was good. So I became a clown, and then so that was a good combination. Then I did theatre and drama therapy, and then the therapy and the clowning seems to fit together really well for medical clowning. Because medical clowning has nothing to do with medicine, really. Oh, it's to do with healing. Yeah, it's to do with healing. medicine's the wrong word because it's not medical. It's not a medical model. It's healing model, and that's good. That's nice. Yeah. So laughter and healing and optimism. And stuff. Yeah. And we can just keep that spirit, which is good. You know, it's a way of professionally keeping that same spirit in everything else. So that was good.
It's about being nuts, going crazy, and it's about like flipping over, I guess, going upside down and nuts. Stuff that shouldn't really, like that kind of, puking up a deck of cards. Really gross, by the way. Still, it doesn't make sense. Usually I swallow a deck of cards or something. That's very well.
Courage is not being afraid. It's being afraid but still trying. And that's what courage is. So it's a story of courage.
It's Harvard Health.
It's a lecture hall. It's one of the halls.
Yay! Harvard Health.